This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 223 of This is the G Podcast. Yes. What's up, y'all? I'm Tommy B. And you know, each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from the one and only Tanya B. And Tanya B's back this week, y'all. Syracuse Mike has your news update. The Newsmaker crew is here, and we'll try to make sense of Drake and Kendrick Lamar for what it's worth. You tired of it yet? But anyway, Vi is here, Talib is here, and of course I'm here, Tommy B. Let's get into it with news with Syracuse Mike. What you got, Mike?
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
There are a growing number of protests on college campuses over Israel's handling of the war in Gaza. Last week marked the beginning of protests at Emory University in Atlanta. Dozens were arrested on campus, with many complaining about how law enforcement handled the situation. A building on the Emory University campus was also vandalized over the weekend. And there is concern on the Morehouse campus about the commencement ceremony where President Biden is scheduled to speak. While some on campus see the occasion as a time to protest and take student concerns over Gaza directly to the president, others just want the president to address it, along with additional issues when he speaks. There have been calls to cancel the speech. Last week, Dr. David Thomas, president of Morehouse College, said the school would not rescind Mr. Biden's invitation to speak at commencement.
We will not be moved unless by force.
That's what happened Tuesday night as police moved in to clear an occupied building after New York City Mayor Eric Adams told students at Columbia University that it was time for them to leave their encampment right away and advised their parents to help share his stern message. Adams said outsiders have taken over the pro-Palestinian protests.
We cannot and will not allow what should be a peaceful gathering to turn into a violent spectacle that serves no purpose. We cannot wait till this situation becomes even more serious. This must end now.
Columbia University has started the process of suspending students involved in protests after demonstrators took over an academic building and blocked the entrance with a human chain. Protesters have been demanding that the school halt investments with companies profiting from Israel's war against Hamas. Protests continue to pop up at schools around the country. Former President Donald Trump has been hit with a $9,000 fine for violating a gag order in his New York hush money trial. While that amount of money is probably nothing to Trump, the judge made it clear further violations of the gag order could land him in jail. The federal government is looking to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug to Schedule 3. But what does that mean? Basically, marijuana would move to the same classification as Tylenol with codeine and some steroids. The reclassification could mean marijuana would have the same criminal statutes as Schedule 3 drugs. It's important to note that the change still doesn't make marijuana completely legal in every state. Florida's new restrictive abortion law went into effect Wednesday. Vice President Kamala Harris was in the state to oppose the law.
At the stroke of midnight, another Trump abortion ban went into effect here in Florida. As of this morning, 4 million women in this state woke up with fewer reproductive freedoms than they had last night.
Harris on Wednesday. Abortions in Florida are now banned for 6 weeks. The Arizona Senate has voted to repeal that state's Civil War-era law, which is a near-total abortion ban. 2 Republicans voted with the chamber's 14 Democrats. The family of Ralph Yarl has filed a lawsuit against Andrew Lester and the Homeowners Association where Lester lives. You may recall that Yarl, who is black and was 16 at the time, was going to pick up his younger siblings at a home in Kansas City when he mistakenly went to Lester's home. Lester is white. According to the court documents, once Yarl rang the doorbell, Lester shot him. The lawsuit alleges the shooting was caused by the reckless and negligent actions of 85-year-old Lester and the Highland Acres Homes Association. The lawsuit also alleges that the Homeowners Association was aware of a potentially dangerous individual in the neighborhood. Yarl survived the shooting. President Biden has spoken publicly for the first time about the college protests around the country, which have mostly supported innocent Palestinians impacted by the war in Gaza. The president believes a number of protesters have crossed the line.
Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest.
The president said there's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos. Police in riot gear moved onto the UCLA campus early Thursday and took down barricades and a pro-Palestinian encampment following an earlier confrontation between pro-Palestinian protesters and pro-Israel counter-protesters. More than 200 people were arrested Thursday, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Student protesters have been calling for the university to divest ties to Israel. Friday marked day 11 of the Trump hush money trial. Trump ended the week in court by telling reporters he couldn't comment on any of the proceedings, including what Hope Hicks had to say on Friday. That's because of a gag order. Trump complained all week that the trial is politically motivated.
Thanks for the headlines, Mike, man. Appreciate you big time. And the fellas are back, man. Give it up for the one and only Talib Shabazz is back in the building. Yes, yes. Also, the country commentator. Y'all know him as Vi. Vi, you back in the building, man? You back here?
I am back, brother.
Oh, yes. Man, I got to jump right into it again. It's just going to be a fun, adventure-packed week this week. I'm here to tell you, you heard Mike's headlines, and a lot of them deal with the college protests, but we'll get to that. I want to find out, and I'll start with you this week, Talib. You just guzzled down like a can?
Breakfast. That's breakfast.
So as he guzzles down breakfast, because we tape this on, Saturday morning. What stood out for you this week, man?
I mean, there was so much actually going on. I think that, the college campus thing, that it's probably the big story for me. It's, to just see how one-sided the coverage is, to see that, there are people literally throwing fireworks into this encampment and they aren't arrested, but you arrest the people in the encampment. It's just, I'm at a loss. I'm constantly, just when you think this, we've seen the dumbest. What I mean? Yeah. We witnessed something like this all over again, and it's like, what are you people really thinking? I understand. I'll wait until we really get in it. But that was my big takeaway for the week. Besides all the the rat beef.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that at the end. Yeah, but I do want to get to that as well. Good point. All right, country commentator Vi, what you got, man? What was the big story for you this week?
Well, I mean, it's not really nothing important, but I'm like the sports guy, like you said, the WNBA. I mean, it's to the point where Caitlin, they're going to make her the face of the WNBA. Like they trying to make her the face of the WNBA, not let her earn the right to be the face of the WNBA. How you gonna make? We can see Caitlin debut preseason free, but when Angela Reese debut, it's not free. You got to pay to see hers. So
okay, you're talking about Angel Reese and
right
in Chicago.
Not only that, you had two super riggers on that team. We got to pay to see them, but you get to see Caitlin Clark free of charge. Yeah. And it's not anything. Caitlin she's just doing what she's supposed to do. It's the WNBA. They making it worse than what it actually should be. If you can make it free for her, they make it free for them. Make it free for them too.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they dropped the ball with that. Yeah.
They did. I mean,
now in their defense, just slightly in their defense, it's a preseason game.
Right.
Yeah.
But why? If it's a preseason game, then why make it free for Angel Reese also? Yeah, I want to see Angel Reese. I want to see Caitlin.
Yeah. Now, Caitlin did light it up with 21 points.
My point is, let her earn her right to be the face of the WNBA. I cannot take by how great a player she is. She's surreal. But let her earn it.
Ball.
Let her earn it. Well, like when Michael Jordan came to the NBA, they didn't give it to him. He had to take it. Mm. So let her take it. Because the WNBA player, they are sure not going to give it to her. They coming at her.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, man. And, I think when you look at social media and you see the heat that the WNBA is taking for that, for lack of really giving the preseason games more coverage. Now, on the other hand, it's tough when you got the NBA going on like full blast right now. That.
Okay, I get it. But they don't do it. They don't do it at all, do you?
Yeah.
Unless you want that heat and you think that heat is worth it.
Yeah, I questioned my thing was I questioned why y'all dropped this in the middle of the NBA playoffs. I know typically they play right after the NBA, the season starts right after the NBA season's over.
But this is the preseason, though.
This is preseason.
I was like, this is not normal. Ain't this the normal time they started?
But it's a different opportunity. But go ahead, Talib.
And I don't, for some reason, I don't remember preseason for WNBA clashing with NBA playoffs. I mean, maybe it did, but I don't remember that.
Hey, you know what? Why you don't probably is because of the Caitlyn hype has made the preseason bigger.
Really wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, you're right about that, Talib.
I want to try to get a ticket for the when Chicago come out here and play Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I saw the price. Good gracious.
Oh, you mean to see Angel Reese and
Angel Reese? Yeah,
I'm from South Carolina. What's her name?
I don't forget her name.
Big.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to Google it before the show's over.
I was trying to get tickets for that game. Yeah. And I looked at the price. I said, I don't pay that much to see the NBA or the Falcons.
Yeah. Well, the Atlanta Dream announced that they sold out their season tickets. The season tickets.
Well, I don't want no season ticket.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying to you that's never happened. It's a big accomplishment for the Atlanta Dream, and a lot of teams are selling out. Plus, first of all, Future's involved in the Dream. I think he's part owner of the Atlanta Dream, and they play over in College Park, and they play at a smaller arena. But still, for them to sell out their season tickets. I mean, of course, they got game by game tickets available.
Yeah, I was trying to buy a game
season
ticket.
Tickets sold out.
Yeah, they put Chicago in September. I was going to try to see that game.
And it's going to be sold out.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get the ticket now.
Yeah, because if it goes to third party, if these tickets when they go to a third party vendor, like StubHub, boom. $1,000.
But dude, I'm not going. I just watch it on TV or just read about it.
I'll read about it.
I hear you.
I'm not paying. I might pay $100.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I'm not trying to get front court seat. I might pay $100, but I'm not going over $100. I'm not finna pay $250.
I hear you.
Because I mean, I gotta. I'm not going by myself. Now I gotta drop $500 to go to the game. Nah,
oh no!
My point exactly.
Right.
I'm not balling like that.
Yeah.
500 hurts my pocket. I can't speak for everybody else.
I hear you. Well, my big thing for the week is really kind of piggybacking on Talib, but I'm gonna take it from a different angle. I think a lot of you're hearing Bernie Sanders. Clyburn from South Carolina come out and say that these protests are becoming, Biden's Vietnam. Right. And of course, I was way too young to know, if you were even here to lead during the Vietnam protests. But if you study history, it's easy to go back and see Kent State, a lot of these clashes with the police over Vietnam. And some people are saying it's also a reminder of the anti-apartheid movement, which we probably have more connection with. Right. But let me give you some stats. According to CNN, man, they say the war doesn't even come close to the big three when they do the polling. And the big three would be protecting democracy, immigration, and border security, and abortion. Those eclipse whatever's going on in Gaza. And a couple of polls here. Let me get to it. NBC says only 7% of voters would vote for a candidate because of their stance on Gaza. Gallup says Americans, in terms of the most important problem facing the nation, when they asked that question, only 2% answered with some version of Hamas or Middle East. And even among and we think that it's going to have impact on younger voters, even, those 35 and under. only 2% said that Gaza was important, and that's based on Gallup. And I think, and y'all can weigh in on this. I think it's different for three reasons why I see, maybe 2.5. Okay, we have no troops on the ground.
Right.
True.
That's a big deal. The fact that we don't, in Vietnam, we had a whole lot of brothers. Vietnam still, if people who there are a lot of people who still suffer from the effects of being in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Also, some view this as an endless conflict from my standpoint. It's almost biblical. So, when you say, oh man, all this stuff going on in Gaza, you have maybe people who are connected spiritually to that region. They say, oh, that's going to go on forever. Some people view it as an endless conflict. And I hate to say this, but I think to many of the folks who are in the U.S., there hasn't been anything that, how do you say it, that has impacted them directly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go any further than that because, I don't want to bring up any past 9/11. I want to bring up, but there hasn't been anything that has immediately impacted people in the U.S. yet. Those are the three reasons. I think it's where it is. The other thing, I think when you have a situation like foreign policy in America, that part of the country tends to be the loudest. They're the smallest, but damn, they know how to protest. Yeah. Any thoughts from anybody from the panel? Go ahead. I'll go to you, Vi.
I'm gonna say, America like to claim that they're a social conscious country, but we're not. If it doesn't affect you directly, it's not that big of a big deal. Now you have some people of America, who does really believe in that. They have a conscience. But I really believe majority of America really don't have a conscience. If it doesn't affect their country directly, or even you're paying attention to it, but it's not going to be that important of the other fake things we got going on. Because America because Trump is one of the main people. All he talks about is America. Yeah, if it was up to Trump, we would be like China and U.S. We would not give our money to anybody else. We will only take care of America.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to
Talib, your thoughts?
Really, I don't think that that's such a bad thing. To stop all these subsidies to foreign governments. Like I said, the thing about, I don't think that this is going to be the hill that that Biden dies on. Because of the fact that it doesn't move the needle with enough of the general population. I think that it's frustrating. To me, it's frustrating because again, a lot of these things are just showing the hypocrisy. Okay. It shows that I just don't understand how somebody in 2024 can look at another human and say that's an animal. We know it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there have been with 2024 years from the death of Christ. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Really? Are we still looking at people like they are subhuman?
Yeah.
Like that just it doesn't even register in my mind, to how that could be. When I look at anybody, Caucasian, Asian, whatever they could be, nationality, skin color, Hispanic, all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. I see somebody who thinks like I think and moves like I move. Maybe not in the same manner. Something that's important to me might not be as important to them, but I know that they want a good life for their children. I know that they want to be able to pay the bills and have a little money left over for some frivolous purchases. They are me. These people are me. It doesn't matter what you look like. I know in my heart and in my head what Like, this is another person. This is people. These are
so
people.
you're looking at it, the commonality of humanity.
Right. And I don't, and to be honest, I just don't understand how in these days and times you could say, and again, Israel, the formation of the state of Israel was based upon what Hitler was doing in World War II. They needed a place that they could be. Mm-hmm. I know I'm reducing that to, base amounts. Yeah. I'm not going into the whole, why Israel. Exactly. But here you go. And, some 70 years later, you are doing the exact same thing that Hitler did to you, but you don't see that?
Yeah. Well, again, man, I hopefully at some point in this conflict, and I want to move on because we have some other stuff we need to talk about, that the humanity in all this rises to the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you talk about when you come on the show. And I think that's what a lot of the activists want. Let's bring this to the level of humanity so that we can solve the conflict. And when it's really about two factions who pretty much have made up their minds and have said, I don't care what you do, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, then that's when it becomes, for a lot of Americans, an endless war.
Right.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, moving on. Tanya B's back with the tea this week, and she'll probably mention this, but I wanted to get this in and save some time to talk about it. And honestly, I was thinking, I'm like, damn, when I hear that Drake and Kendrick Lamar are battling in the midst of, the beef where people are fighting to pay for beef. That's what I call it. Families struggling, all this stuff going on, and these two rich guys are beefing on vinyl. I guess it's entertainment for a lot of people. A lot of people do view it as entertainment.
The young people love it.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, they love it. And, they love it back and forth, and they and it is definitely back and forth. I'm gonna go to you, Talib, because this is your wheelhouse in terms of hip hop and understanding some of the maybe dynamics between these two artists, man. What are your thoughts, man, when you see these things, especially like as we tape right now? I mean, it's like immediate. Drake dropped something, I think, overnight as we tape, and it was like within you listening halfway through that.
Right. And here comes Kendrick.
Here comes Kendrick. And it's getting real personal, man.
Yeah.
It's getting personal.
Right. So,
and yeah, go ahead.
So here's my thing. Hip hop was started on the battle. It was about DJs. DJs would battle for supremacy. MCs would battle for supremacy. I don't have a problem with you battling. What I have a problem with is when it gets to the point where you're starting to talk about people's moms and, other than, the mom, your mom's so fat type of thing, playing the dozens is one thing, but when you are actually right, that's cool. But when you are actually, looking for information, you're calling out, another child that might be denied and things like that. It's like, guys, either you're going to be funny or you're not. Either you're going to come up with some witty punchlines or you're not. I think that I don't have a problem with people battling and leaving it as that. It was a battle. After the battle, you can say who won, who didn't win, and we move on to the next, to the next thing.
Yeah.
But again, when these are personal digs. These are fighting. This isn't just rap beef. This is like fighting. This is gonna make me punch somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really with all that. But for the spirit of hip hop and for, hip hop is a Highlander sport. When I meet you, I'm thinking I'm the best. You think you're the best. We spit rhymes, or we DJ and we show what skills you have, and you may have taken a loss that day. It's just part of it. I like I said, I don't have a problem with competition. I've got a problem with you taking the competition and going personal. If you're involving somebody's parent to the point where, I read something where, Drake's mom was calling him, asking about a nose job, that Rick, because of something that Rick Ross had said. When it gets to that, it's like, what's excessive, what's not excessive?
Where do you draw the line?
Right. Because I'm telling you, I mean, honestly, if some of the things that Drake and Kendrick has said, somebody has said to me, outside of a beat behind it, oh no, I'm ready. Hey, let's do it. You know what I mean?
But you said when I sent you the text, you said, I hope they keep. Well, you said as long as they keep it on wax,
right? Why would I have a problem with it as long as because we know that. Look, I'm not coming to. I think I'll kind of compare it to politics in terms of there are people who support former President Trump so much to the point where if he says something that he doesn't like, somebody is going to take it to the extreme based on what he's saying. I don't want to see that happen with the hip hop. I don't want to see that happening where one of Kendrick's people sees one of Drake's people and they start scrapping. I don't want to see that.
And you know what? And I'm going to go to you, Vi. I'm coming to you. I'll make this statement because it's almost like Biggie, Tupac. When it goes over, you may step over the line and the artist may be okay with it, but it's somebody in the camp who starts something that escalates, that gets back to the original, to the leader, to the rapper.
Right.
So okay. Go to you, Vi.
Yeah, it's something like football. You know how the receiver is so great now because they go across the middle and not worry about anything. Like this guy said on podcast, he said the rappers. He said back in the day the rappers used to travel together, so they had concerts together, they had shows they'd do together. So they made sure they didn't say anything to offend that person because they know they said the wrong thing. That rapper was going to jump down and get a beat down for somebody. But since they don't have to travel together, they don't see each other anymore, they're not scared. There's no consequence in what they say. Because that rapper, Drake is not going to come across the country to go beat this guy down. Now, if they happen to be in the same concert, same area, they probably watch their word. But like since we got this social media and people don't do concerts together anymore. They don't do shows together. There's no consequence in their words. So they're not really worried about it. They just say what they want to say.
But you know what? Here's the interesting thing about that, man. And Talib, this. One of the biggest reasons why they don't do concerts or as many big concerts together anymore is nobody can insure the concerts at the big venues because of the past.
Right.
So you might have Drake, you might have Kendrick, you may have some of these bigger artists who can fund their own shows and they can pay these exorbitant insurance because, hip hop, a lot of venues won't even do hip hop anymore.
Right.
Because of the violence.
Right. The violence.
That's so if you can't afford to pay what they're telling you to put up as insurance, then in a lot of cases, these guys are in clubs, they're doing clubs, or they're not touring at all. So you're right. You don't see them like on the Budweiser Superfest. Houdini. I saw Houdini. I saw Run DMC.
Unless you come to my house to beat me up, I'm not worried about you. We don't travel the same circles.
I'm finding encouraging about this, about the Kendrick and Drake situation is that people are now recognizing the difference between surface-oriented lyrical talent and critical thinking, deeper lyrical meaning. Because you can. We laughed when Drake said something about Kendrick, and it was very surface level. He said it, you could see it in your mind, and it was funny, and we laughed. Kendrick is like, you really got to go back and be like, okay, what did he say just there? Because there's a line where he's talking about some Chinese restaurant in Toronto. But he doesn't say it's a Chinese restaurant in Toronto. What he said, he just names the place. But not only is it a Chinese restaurant in Toronto, and he's saying that he gets more love, Kendrick gets more love at this Chinese restaurant than Drake does. This is also the Chinese restaurant where Drake got robbed of $4,000 worth of jewelry and money.
So Kendrick is more like a poet.
Kendrick is right. Kendrick is multi-level. You know, it's like okay, you might get it on the surface, but if you look past, you know, just the words that were said, and you look at why he's saying these things have a deeper meaning, and that's what I'm saying. It's that lyrical, the thought process that goes into these people's lyrics that shows where these people really are. You know, Kendrick deserves the praise and the accolades that he's gotten so far because, you know, the whole thing, Pet Sematary, K9s, and you know what I mean? It's all of these things that it's like, oh man, you can't just, it's not just surface oriented. This reminds me of like a De La Soul type of deal. You know what I mean? Where you have to listen 2 or 3 times in order to catch what they really said and the meaning behind it.
I hear you. I'm gonna go to you. Go ahead, Vaughn. You had one more thing to say on,
then we'll move on. On the podcast. I'm not gonna say his name. What brought my attention? He said, "Kendrick Dishon is an investigating rapper. You have to actually investigate what he's saying to get what he really means."
Right.
And the guy said, he said, where did that come from? What happened to just I did your mama or I did your wife? He said, what happened to the good old dish? He said, Kendrick gets so deep with his stuff, and then when you get, you go, oh my God. Yeah. Did he really go there?
Right.
He said,
I mean, Kendrick, there's a reason why he won a Peabody. You know, I mean, there's a reason why he won these awards, and people don't understand. The other thing is, and somebody said this, and I want to go ahead and end it and get your last thing for the week, so we can wrap it up. But the other thing is, people, it's like I heard and I saw this, that Drake doesn't really understand what he's dealing with here. You know,
he shouldn't.
If he thinks it's just going to be entertainment cut and dry, it's gone beyond that. You know, so it's kind of like, that whole Key and Peele with the 2 boxers, and the one boxer just talking smack like, you know, and the other guy says, your family will be bleeding over your bed as they, you know what I mean?
And he's like, does this guy know that we just talking here?
we just joking, man. No, dude, you don't know who you dealing with. I mean, Kendrick, and I'm not saying from a physical, death type of thing, but I mean, Kendrick's not going. He's just going to keep coming at you, man.
Right.
It's like the Equalizer.
Yeah. And it is funny that Kendrick probably right now has about.
I mean, Drake doesn't understand.
Right. Drake, yes, but I'm saying Kendrick has probably about 6 or 7 songs right now, ready to see what he's going to come with next.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's extended beyond the EP.
Exactly.
It's like he got a whole beef album.
Right.
A double album coming.
Right.
So, all right, so one more thing, and let's go ahead and wrap it. The last word. I do want to say, folks, even though I wasn't a big watcher of, and I can't believe I said the Griot, but the Griot, okay, owned by Byron Allen, I hate to see them cut news. And again, it's unfortunate, even though I'm not a huge fan of Ebony Williams and Mark Lamont Hill, I do like our outlets to have news, you see Black news, especially on like BET, TV One, a lot of our so-called, Black targeted outlets, man, have some aspect of news. And because of the cuts that are going on within Byron Allen's company, they cut the news, the nightly news. So, it's unfortunate, but it seems like the first thing to go on a lot of our outlets will be news. So shout out to, all the folks who include news or have discussions of weekly news. Shout out to Roland Martin. Support these guys. Support the folks who are really trying to bring some news quality to you and mixing it in with a lot of the social stuff that's going on, just a lot of the pop culture stuff. I just wanted to say that. Last word for you, Talib.
Keep supporting Castropolis.net. This is the G podcast because we are one of the few that are bringing you news on a weekly basis.
No,
and we enjoy it. We enjoy talking to y'all. So
we do enjoy it.
Hopefully y'all enjoy us the same way.
Cool. Last word.
Last word. I'm gonna go dark this time. Not too dark, but I'm about the. If you got a federal conviction, you can't vote. Correct?
Supposedly.
Right?
Well, in some cases, if you're still under your sentence,
right,
or probation, but once you've passed and you've been released, it depends on the state. It just depends on the state.
Okay, then I want you to think about this. We're about to have a guy run for president to be federal convicted.
A felony.
But yet you can't vote, but you can run for president. Make sense of that.
Yeah.
How can you run for president but you can't vote? So he can actually run for president, but he can't vote.
Well, if he was a convicted felon,
that's what I'm saying.
He would not be able to run for president.
They said you can run for president if you're a convicted felon. There's no law that says you cannot. Yeah. He can be convicted and still run for president. That's the big thing they're saying. He can lose this case and be a convicted felon. Actually, he could be in jail and run for president.
And that's the other thing that they were talking about on CNN, that people, interestingly enough, a poll was done and people would still support him. But you're right. I mean, it's a vote thing, and I'll post. You really just go on to your individual state.
Right.
Some states are it's changed a lot in terms of if you're not still under probation, if you're you're not still serving time, but the issue of serving time and the presidency. That's why I think we have to. And I want to leave it at this. Maybe we can talk. Let's talk about this next week. Let's bring it up. Because the thing is, I think we need to revisit the qualifications for president. I think
that's the point I was trying to get to. That's the issue. We need to get. I think we should say, if you on trial, you should not be able to run for president. If you're convicted, you're not going to run for president. You should not be able to do anything until you have your house in order.
Yeah, because MAGA will do anything to get him in. They don't care.
They don't care.
They really don't care. All right, y'all. Hey, we'd love your thoughts. Go to Castropolis.net, choose the people poll, leave us a voicemail. Love to hear from you, and I'll play back some of the best. Let's take a break, man. Tanya B is back. Fellas, appreciate you as always, man. Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks, Tommy.
Let's take no problem.
Thanks, Tommy B.
Oh, he said what? All right, y'all. That's the inside joke. But hey, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back with the tea with Tanya B. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
More. This is the G Podcast after the break.
Hey, this is Tommy B from This is the G Podcast. I want to encourage all my G's who reside in the area of Jonesboro, Stockbridge, Covington, Conyers, South Gwinnett. That's the new Georgia Congressional District 13 to vote for Karen Renee for Congress. Karen Renee is a true advocate for her constituents and truly believes in empowering the people. Visit electkarenrenee.com for more information and also find out whether you're in the new District 13. Follow her campaign on Facebook at Elect Karen Renee. Let's support a candidate who truly represents the people.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tanya B.
Yes, children, it is time for tea. Welcome to the GT with your girl Tanya B right here on This Is the G Podcast. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, check out the YouTube channel, check out the Instagram. I'm telling you, politics, pop culture, and my entertainment tea make it all worthwhile. So let's just get right into it. First off, did he do it or not? I think he did something, but he's saying y'all have got to stop with these sex trafficking claims against me from the 90s, and he may have a point, and here is why. Federal sex trafficking did not go into federal law until 2003. So y'all from the 90s got to find a different way to try to get a coin or do something to Puffy, okay? He's still not invited to the party, the Met Gala, the family reunion, or the cookout. He is mad at everybody from Jay-Z to J-Lo. But you know what? Ain't no good gonna come to you when you do what? And if you don't believe me, just ask Monique. I told her to go have a seat because, sis, we are tired of y'all. Just when you start to get your invites back to the events, you go ham again. She is not telling jokes. She cussed out Oprah, Tyler Perry, and everybody else she thought had done her wrong, much like Amanda Seales. She's blackballed from Black Hollywood. She's lost every job she ever got. She's very talented, but she's got to learn to get out of her own way. And she is not protecting Issa Rae. Issa Rae gave her the biggest job of her entire career on Insecure, and she couldn't even keep that. I'm just saying, you two join hands, go over there in the corner, and join the 2024 We Tired of Y'all Hall of Fame. Jeannie Mai, we still tired of you too. But Bebe, her first husband, Freddie, is speaking out and spilling all her business and her tea about her and her mother, Mama Mai. Her ex-husband claims that they set Jeezy up, that Jeannie is a snake, a liar, and a manipulator. Uh-oh. Now, you know, Jeannie's claiming that Jeezy punched her in the eye after she gave birth to their daughter, Monaco, because he didn't want to have any more kids. And if he know like I know, I'm not saying it was smart to allegedly punch her, but they don't need to have any more kids. They need to keep their business off social media because it's going to come back and haunt their daughter, and that is not fly. What's fly? Fantasia has thrown her name into the hat, and she is looking to replace Katy Perry, aka American Idol Mean Girl, when Katy Perry leaves the show. Fantasia's about the best one to do it. She won. She knows it from the rooter to the tutor, so she may be the best judge of talent. Because since her, Jennifer Hudson, and Kelly Clarkson, talent on American Idol, debatable. Well, Mary J. Blige is going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, yes, but she also claims she's going to retire in 5 years. Yeah, girl, just like Cher did 40 years ago. Mary, what's she going to do? You got to keep paying that bum of a husband. Yeah, I called him a bum. Ken don't. But Mary had a bona fide hit on Puffy's recent Love album, you know, the one where Roddy Rod Jones is suing him. The album was a flop. I heard the song was fire, but we're never going to hear it, and it will probably never see the light of day for obvious reasons. So Mary's going to go and get ready for her Strength of a Woman conference next week, drink her Sun Goddess wine while she gets her designer outfit made for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. Puffy who? A Puffy what? Ooh, this week's dumb donkey. Brian McKnight, you still trash. Yes, I said it. He will have to answer to a higher power, Tommy B. I'm telling you right now. You know, he called his sons Nico and Brian Jr. evil persons that were products of sin. But wait a minute, Brian. You created them when you slept with their mama and then married her because she was pregnant. She probably sitting somewhere laughing right now. But those kids are not checking for him. And now, you know, Nico has been diagnosed with cancer and he does not want to deal with his father, Brian McKnight. Oh, I'm trying to reach out to my son. If you talk greasy like that about me, I wouldn't talk to you either, Brian McKnight. And you stay off social media. Like Neo, his baby mama, Big Sade, is calling him Diddy Jr., saying that Neo allegedly had these freak-offs while the kids were in the house. Brian, you cancel. You and Neo go over there with Amanda Seales and Monique and sit down. Here's a collaboration that we are waiting for. October London and Babyface, the two brothers from Indiana, are teaming up for a collaboration on Babyface's upcoming album. And boo, talk about that being a tour. My goodness. Good God. All right, now listen, let me tell you this. These rap wars are ridiculous. They're turning into a bad 7th grade reality show. Can we just go back to the days of like the LL Cool J and Kumo D rap wars or the beefs? Someone said take that rap beef and throw it on the grill and burn it up. A few weeks ago, it was Drake and Rick Ross. You got a BBL. You got lipo. You got a nose job. This week, it's Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And who's the common thread in all this mess? Drake. But let me tell you something. Even Kanye tried to get in this, but they told him to go sit down. But here's the thing. Now, Drake claims that Kendrick Lamar is a serial cheater and blasted his baby mama. Hold up. Wait a minute. Drake, wasn't your baby mama Rosie Devine a porn star? Yes, she was. Now, Drake gonna come across the border and start some mess while he's going down to the Jaya to put some money on Tory Lane's books. Then he goes back over the border to Canada and will make a record that does not appeal to anyone who looks like you or I and try to collect the bag. Is this a real tired attempt to sell downloads because you can't sell records anymore and it takes money, discipline, and time to do a tour? Again, I say y'all need to sit down and grow up. We tired of y'all. Go over there with the rest of them. Monique, Amanda, Diddy, Jeannie Mai, and that trash Brian McKnight and Neo. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. Oh, one more thing. Usher's Lovers and Friends Festival canceled. People are pissed. They can't get their money back. They spent money. And I heard last week that they knew the weather was going to be bad, but they didn't say anything, didn't tell the concert goers that the thing was canceled, and I heard last year it was worse. So why y'all going back this year? Let's get a grip and get those people their money back, Usher, baby. It's your girl, Tanya B, sipping this GT right here on This Is the G Podcast. And remember the Birdwire on Castropolis.net on demand 24/7.
Appreciate you, Tanya B. Also, big thanks to Vi Talib, author and political analyst Harold Michael Harvey. Thanks to the crew, Millennial Nick, Lady J, Regia, music by K-Dub, all those who help us make it happen each and every single week. Subscribe, y'all. Make sure you turn on your notifications for new episodes. And just a quick note, y'all. Yes, he can run even if he's in jail. Yes, he might lose his voting privileges, but you know who can run for president if he's in jail. Vi mentioned that in the show. Just wanted to confirm it. Episode 223 is in the can, y'all. Have a great week. Peace and power to the people.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.